Hey there, Anthonites. Today I wanted to try something a little new. Here's the deal. Sometimes I want to learn more about a subject. Sometimes it's something serious, sometimes it's something goofy or silly, but today I just wanted to share the results of my research with you. Today's topic is tariffs. What are they and how do they work? First off, I'm staying out of the politics of recent stuff going on, and I just want to dive into what I've found. Feel free in the comments below to expand on what I've said, grade me using a middle school grading scale or whatever, but just try to keep it civil, will ya? See, a tariff is a tax levied or placed on a particular good or type of good. These taxes are paid by the buyer of those goods. These are often a middleman who then passes the additional costs down the line, eventually making it to the end consumer. You'll hear me say the word good or goods a lot in this video. Essentially, it means stuff, or things that get bought. Just a quick reminder, if you're interested in partaking in capitalism with the rest of us, there is an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. Maybe you'll find something you like, maybe not. I'm not your parent. Anyway, even if you don't buy anything, simply clicking on the link helps tell Amazon that you're a part of the family and that it might mean that they let me keep the link for a little longer. Back to the learning stuff. Tariffs have two main types that I'll be focusing on in this video. The first type is a unit tariff. This is like saying if there's a $1 tax on each bottle of hot sauce or beer that you buy from a certain place, usually a country. The second is an ad valorem tariff. This is a tax that's owed based on a percentage of the goods bought, like say 20% of the value of a car you bought from a certain place. Both kinds of tariffs work similarly, but it's important to know that not all tariffs are created equally when it comes to execution. Tariffs aren't new. Heck, they've been an economic tool since the 18th century here in the States when George Washington signed the bill in 1789, and heck, it was one of the first big laws passed by our first Congress. In fact, Alexander Hamilton chimed in arguing that it would encourage domestic industry in a way that wouldn't require subsidies to private industries, which is a favored alternative by other governments at the time. I was surprised that before 1913, the US government raised most of its funds through tariffs on goods coming into our harbors. In 1913, the 16th Amendment made income tax a thing, and it seems that we've been relying on tariffs less and less since that point. These days, up until recently, it seemed that tariffs tended to be about protecting some of our domestic industries from possibly unfair foreign competition, as well as raising a bit of revenue as a byproduct. Tariffs can have a big impact or none at all on the world stage, depending on the might of the levying country. The country creating the tariff, that is. By might, that can mean a few things, so let me give you an example. There's a country roughly the size of the US state of Minnesota that has a population the size of the US state of Texas. It's Ghana, the world's top exporter of cocoa. Now, the Netherlands, by contrast, is about the size of the state of New Jersey and imports a huge amount of cocoa from Ghana. Now, with that being the case, the two countries have a big influence on the world supply of cocoa in the global markets. If the Netherlands levied a tariff on cocoa from Ghana to protect its local farmers, of which there are none, the effects could be threefold. First, the price of foreign cocoa would be higher. So that, in theory, would mean that the locals would be more likely to buy the locally grown cocoa. This would negatively impact the local chocolate candy makers, since it's the world's biggest supplier of cocoa butter. But on the other hand, it could be good news for local companies competing with foreign cocoa. Now, second, because the country imposing the tariffs is large, in the sense that they do a lot of business, it drives down the export price of the good in question, essentially. Since Ghana can't sell to the Netherlands, it has to sell the cocoa somewhere else for less, of course, making cocoa cheaper and hurting the economy of Ghana. This may sound complicated, and it can be, but that's why economists gave the special concept a short name called the terms of trade gain. Now, third and finally, it throws off the supply and demand curve for multiple economies. But wait, I hear you say. What if the country is small in the sense of it being like a small fish or minor player? It's a really good question. Then there are usually two things that happen. Prices on goods go up, domestic buyers pay more, while local producers make more, and the country's trade product declines. The action will have little or no impact on the worldwide markets. Benefits and costs. For the big fish players, the benefits are mixed. Prices go up for the local buyers, and they are the losers in this move. The companies in the protected industry wins by selling more of its stuff. And the government gets a new revenue source from all those unpatriotic people who swear that they can tell the difference between greenhouse-grown cocoa and the stuff from Ghana. In the end, you just need to look at the net effect and whether it's worth the disruption to the markets to impose a tariff. Is the efficiency loss worth the result? If the changes to trade nets a gain, it's a success. If it nets a loss, it's not. Often, for the little fish players, it tends to make things worse since they don't have anything really to bargain with in the first place. That's my brief overview on tariffs. I feel like a kid who just gave a book report, but overall I feel like this is a little bit more of a focused format compared to something where I'm a little bit more all over the place. If you'd like to see more of this type of content, let me know what topic you'd like me to cover in the comment section down below. Till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things that absolutely positively make me love my job. Also, be awesome to yourself and amazing to each other. Bye.